Okay, we're a bit early, so we're just going to wait a few minutes for staff to trickle in here.
I'm bad. I think I There we go. Sorry, DNA. I accidentally clicked move to audience there.
Deanie, I don't think we can
Thinking it.
hear you unless if you were talking earlier. Yeah, I don't see a green highlight.
Foot wants to delay the GSM 5 minutes so that he is able to get off the train.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah.
I was thinking everyone was ignoring me. I was talking for quite a bit there as well.
No, it didn't. Yeah, we didn't hear any of it.
Well, I asked everyone how their day went as well. So you all happy?
Yeah.
Regarding, I think by the time Foot gets here, we'll be starting voting in conductors. There's some stuff I want to get through at the beginning. The announcement that I've been hinting at will be done after the conductor vote, so. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have 5 absentee ballots, so that's definitely quorum.
That seems like a lot of absentees, but yeah.
This is
better for the absentees than absent at all.
Early May. This is, and no, the servers kind of gotten quiet for the last week or so. So everybody's busy with exams or projects or freaking out about university, that sort of thing.
Yeah. It do indeed be final season.
But I do recall last year, like late May, the service suddenly got really busy. So I'm kind of expecting that'll happen again.
Put it this way, if this was happening next week, I suspect the server would be a lot more preoccupied with Eurovision, frankly.
Again, there's no community issues here, so there's nothing. It's not a particularly interesting GSM, so it's just conductor votes, really. Okay. Yeah, it is 12 o'clock. I'm going to get this meeting started. Welcome, everyone, to the May 2025 GSM. There's a couple things I want to get through first, and then we'll go to the conductor vote. And then after the conductor vote, there will be a announcement. And that's pretty much the end of the meeting, I guess, with the Q&A and all that. So first off, what we need to do is choose the location for the GSM. I have a spinny wheel up on my stream. I'm going to see if I can stream in Discord.
Yay.
If I
That's
can.
the best bit.
There it is. Okay, that does work. All right, where is my...
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, let's spin the wheel. And then we'll end up at a location where we don't know where it is, and we're gonna have to figure out what it is and all that. Okay,
That's easy to find.
the wheel has chosen Sunset Arena in Southeast Central City. I actually don't know where that is. I never think I've seen it.
I can be there in a minute. I think this is a Sunset Arena. It's a ice hockey stadium place.
All right. Let me switch my stream here.
We can't really build in here, but I suppose it doesn't matter too much because it's only a short GSM.
Yeah, don't build in the seats. That'll make it harder to clean up. Try to just build in the arena part. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that works. A dark black platform.
I try my best.
Okay. All right, so that part's done. Could I get someone to be minutes taker? Because Vicky is away with Katie right now.
Sure.
All right, thank you, AP. And okay, and finally, I do have one thing to say before we get to conductor vote. It's something that it's not the announcement. It's something that just sort of came up in the last hour or so. It came to my attention that I'm not going to name names at this point because they haven't responded to my message. But we did have someone try to send feedback about conductors in a sort of private fashion or anonymous fashion. They only want to just share it with the staff and not with the public. And I'd just like to remind everyone that that's not really allowed. If you have feedback that you officially want to submit for a conductor, say you have concerns about conductor, or you have good things to say about the conductor, positive or negative, feedback needs to be.
I don't think that's what they meant. I think they wanted to share it publicly, anonymously. I think that's what they meant.
Are you Surefoot?
I think so, but I'll double check.
Maybe let's not speculate right now, but that's my understanding of what I was informed of. So, yeah. In any case, I'm just going to remind people, if you're going to submit feedback, please make sure that you intend it to be public, so that not only others can see the feedback, but also the conductor or the candidate in question can actually read it and maybe, defend themselves or respond to it. So, yeah. That's all. That's the only reminder I want to bring. So let's go start with the conductor votes for this meeting. We have 4 conductors that are up for. Can I see? I forgot to make a random list, so give me a sec. Random.org. Okay, and a list now. I will remind. So I'll call people here. Also, I do have 5 absentee ballots, so I'll fill those in as we go, and that'll be that. So, first up, we have our first candidate we're looking at is Pilk. And the first person I have on the staff list is Needon, who is here. Hi, Needon. So what's your vote for Pilk? Needon is voting for. Next up is Skelly. Oh, the Skelly's not here, is he? I think he said something he wasn't going to be here. So Skelly, I'm going to put him down as did not vote. Next is Missa, who submitted an absentee ballot of neutral. Zooj is not here, so I'm going to put them down as did not vote. Now it's my vote. I'm going to vote neutral. Next up is Polo. Polo is voting neutral. Next is AP.
4.
AP's voting for. HVT submitted an absentee ballot of against. And then next is Sesh, who submitted an absentee ballot of 4. And then next is Jinty.
4.
Jinty votes for. Vicky submitted an absentee ballot of neutral. MBF.
Neutral.
MBF votes neutral. DNA.
Neutral.
DNA votes neutral. 7D I don't see him, so he did not vote. Alpha submitted an absentee ballot of 4. And Foot is voting neutral. And finally, last but not least, Frozen. Frozen vote. Frozen's voting for. Okay. While you're tallying that up, AP, I'm going to read some of the absentee ballots here. Vicky voted neutral, said not as familiar with them or their world at knowledge, can't really vouch for or against them. Missa voted neutral, not many interactions with this member, and given their previous ban, I'd like to remain on the side of caution. Alpha voted for. As far as I know, they've never gotten into any major trouble and are fairly active. HVT voted against, requests a lot of rollbacks. Promoting might lead to more incidents that require rollback. And Sesh voted for, friendly player who is nice to work with and playtime is good. So there's definitely a variety of opinions here. HVT didn't really elaborate about the rollback, so I'm not sure of any details there. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get that since HVT's not here. Rollbacks, yeah, admins can only do rollbacks, but HVT might be referring to... Maybe he's referring to undos, or maybe they are actually rollbacks and the admins have to do it, but as far as I know... DNA, I think
they may have requested 1 or 2 at some point. So rollbacks is like some abandoned towns. I can't
I see.
If I remember correctly, the points that he originally specified, or they originally specified, sorry, they were quite large, and they did actually, if I had rolled back that region, it would have damaged the canal, which was my minor concern there. But yeah, I do. Yeah, I think I can't recall if they've requested many rollbacks before that. So
okay. All right. So the vote is standing at 6-4, 7 neutral, 1 against. And yeah, please don't, well, just for people in the meeting, please don't add any noises during the meeting. I actually could not hear DNA while he was talking when that large train noise started happening.
I would like to clarify, I'm actually having a quick check through requests to start. It does look like Hulk had previously opened up a block check request for the same region that I rolled back, so I'm not actually sure it was him that had built those abandoned towns. It might have been someone else.
So anyone here would like to submit any further opinions? I'm not... obviously, we're not going to be able to change HVT's vote because he's not here, but perhaps the votes that are for the people that are here.
I am a little bit worried about impulsiveness.
Okay. Can you be more specific about that? Any details on that?
Yeah. For example, requesting a rollback of the entirety of Lava Bay at one point. That might be what HVT was referring to. Was
that... do you know why they were doing that, or...?
They wanted to redo all the buildings and everything.
Ah.
And this is after it got Senator. So with Conductor, I'm worried that they won't have the any safeguards against doing things that either they or others might regret.
They could try to set zero their own town, which
Yeah.
technically they're allowed to, but it's not something we'd like to encourage.
I don't think it would be in their best interest either.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
My vote before was mainly on looking back through previous minutes. Last time they came up for conductor was also a for vote. My opinion on Pillock hasn't changed that much changed significantly since that time, so but all considered, I think I'm going to switch over to neutral.
I'll join AP.
Okay, so AP, Ginty, and Needon. I got that right. Are changing to neutral. Any further opinions? And Pilk is not here, so we can't ask him questions.
I mean, I think for me, it's a case I'd just like to maybe see a few more examples of Pilk has offered to help people in game or just been a bit more engaged in the community. I haven't personally interacted with them all that much lately, but I do think it's, come next time they submit for conductor, I do think I could be swayed towards a 4.
Yeah, I personally would like some more details of what does these rollbacks mean. What HVT was witnessing.
So I'm looking back on requested staff now, actually just having a check of this. I think Pilk requested quite a few rollbacks back earlier at the start of this year. There's one more recently as well. I'm not 100% sure if those rollbacks are his own towns or if they're just other towns that he's discovered and decided like insignificant development. But I think I did actually ask Pilk in the end to stop requesting as many rollbacks and just try to avoid damaging the landscape where possible. So obviously they don't, when you do a rollback, it doesn't always repair the landscape to its original state. I think that might be what HVT is referring to. It's just it's hard to know whether those rollbacks were actually as a result of Pilk damaging the world or whether they were just places that you'd found which were insignificant developments or not. So I'll have to look into that further.
Okay, something to look at. All right, so right now the vote is standing at 3-4-10 neutral, 1 against. I guess this will be the last call for any vote changes here or any other opinions that people want to bring up. Going once. Going twice. Okay, so that's the final vote for Pilk. Unfortunately, he does not get promoted to conductor with a vote of 3-10 and 1. So yeah, we're going to move on to the next candidate here. That'll be Val Screams. I'm going to randomize the list again. All right. First up on the list is Foot. Foot is voting 4. Next up is HVT, who voted against. Polo. Polo is voting neutral. Zuge is not here. Sesh voted against. I am voting neutral. 7D is not here. Missa is voting for. AP?
Sorry, I'm struggling to keep up with that. Can you repeat the last few?
Okay, so HVT voted against. And Polo voted neutral. Zuge is not here. Sesh is voting against. I'm voting neutral. 7D is not here. Miss is voting for. And now it's your vote. Sorry, I'm going a bit too fast here.
Yeah, I'm voting for. Windblade Lacy
AP is voting for. Skelly's here. Needon is next. Needon is voting for. Alpha is voting neutral. Next up is Vicky, who's voting for. And then Frozen. Frozen in the voice chat has voted neutral. And then Skelly, you're just here. You just made it, so it's now your vote for Val. Skelly is voting for Ginty.
4.
Ginty's voting for MBF.
Against.
MBF's voting against. And finally, DNA.
Neutral.
DNA's voting neutral. Okay, I think we need to definitely count the neutrals and see if they hit the threshold. I don't recall. It was 21%, I believe, right? So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16, 17. So 7 plus 5 plus 3.
So against from HVT, MBF, and SESH, is that correct? Anyone I've missed or anyone I've got wrong?
Yeah, I think that's correct. I'm just, so out of, let me just double check here. So we have 15 staff voting at this time, and there are 3 against. That's 20% of the vote. I believe the threshold's 21, so I'm just going to double check right now, because this doesn't usually happen. Yep, it does.
Zooch.
Oh.
Zooch is here.
Oh, Zooch is here. Okay. We have a bunch of staff who are just trickling in right now. Zooch, I will accept your vote at this time if you are here. Oh, he's not in the voice chat. Oh, no, he is. Zooch is voting for.
That brings it to 16 votes total.
16. Okay, I will say, so 3 out of 16 makes it 18%. However, a 4th against vote will bring it above 21%, and that would be an automatic no. So just letting people know that right now. But suffice to say, and I will remind people, if I see if there's a case where I see enough against votes, I do have the option to basically veto, because if the candidate is too divisive, which it seems like it might be the case here, I might just say no as a precaution. So just letting people know that might happen here. Anyway, I'm going to read the absentee ballots. So, for Val Screams from Vicky. Vicky voted for. Very sociable and driven person. Very, very active. I haven't worked with her personally on any project, or particular project, but it looks like she has done a few things around the server. No complaints. Happy to promote. Mrs. voted for. Val seems friendly and willing to help, often chiming in to provide suggestions in Sirius and elsewhere. Alpha's voting neutral. I'm not too familiar with them, so I can't confidently vote for. Card's comments do raise some eyebrows, but I don't think it suffices to push me... Oh, shit. I should probably said that. I don't think it suffices to push me toward against. HVT voted against. Concerned with emotional outbreaks in the past that have led to more conflict. Lacks the maturity needed. Sesh has voted against. While Val's playtime is excellent and is well known in the community, my main concern, however, is a history of her getting frustrated and overwhelmed easily. Example, leaving the Discord in frustration, which I think is a reflection of concern with the world-ed privileges and general community interaction. Okay. That concludes the absentee ballots. Let's talk this one out.
Yeah. So the experience with Al is that she's very easy to work with. Very kind of, she's kind of been on the server a short time because been very involved with the community. And where did the rest of my sentence go? Yes, and in the short, even though she's been on the server a fairly short time, I think I've noticed, like, she seems to have matured a lot through, at least in the community, from back in Christmas, just before Christmas. Like, yeah, I am very confident in Val being conductor. More so than I have been in previous candidates, frankly.
Okay. But it seems to me that that's not a universally held opinion at this point. Like, I'm curious about some of the people who voted against. Hey, HVT's not here, but MBFers, if you have anything to add there.
I certainly do. The reason why I voted against is because for a while, Val was saying that she shouldn't be trusted for conductor, and I was very tempted to believe her. Though some time has passed, and while I would say that functioning well under pressure is important, Val isn't bad at that. Val does know when to remove herself from a situation before things get bad. So I could easily be convinced. And seeing how many other staff trust her, and it's not that I don't like her. It's that I wasn't confident that she would be able to fulfill the role. But seeing that other staff can, I could easily be persuaded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious about there are quite a few staff who are voting for, but there are also quite a few staff voting against. This is probably the most against I've seen for a conductor can ever, which does give me a bit of concern there.
Yeah, I mean, I think my main concern, sort of mirroring what's already been said, is I think some of Val's actions can be quite emotionally charged. And I suppose I'd have some concerns perhaps with giving them the responsibility of having access to World Edit and the implications of that. It's not enough to push me to against. I know you understand that sometimes the way people talk can come across as more emotional than they mean to. So I think I'm on the fence, bang in the middle for neutral. So.
Yeah, I'm reading some written opinions by Polo. Activity members good. Polo, you voted neutral, yeah. So you don't know Val that well. And Skelly has said I'd still need a minute to think it I was weakly for, but having 3 against says a lot. Oh yeah, there were a couple of conductors who were just completely against. Yeah, I guess what I really mean is I've never seen a conductor candidate this controversial, in the sense that there are a lot of for votes and a lot of against votes coming out.
I would say this is controversial in a healthy way, and not in like a causing division among people way, as one of the against votes.
It is making me also question. It does make me wonder if this is just simply a case of people having different experiences with said person. Time zones might have a factor here, like do they see one side or the other, that sort of thing. Skelly has said they're going to switch to neutral. Well, I'm not a hard no on Val. I think the issues pointed out by the against votes are mental health are real concerns. On the other hand, I understand what it's like to struggle with emotions. I still struggle with that today. Okay. And yes, 70, you missed your absentee ballot. Good job. Yeah, so my worry here, so currently it's 7 for, 6 neutral, 3 against. Oh, 6 neutral? Yeah, that's correct. So even with this, Val wouldn't get promoted because it's 7 versus 9 right now. And with Skelly, before Skelly's vote, it was 7 to 8. So based on this, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any. It seems like Val's not going to get promoted unless there's a significant change in the vote. But I do think it, and I think Val can take this as feedback. Like the fact that there are several against votes might be just an indication that some people do have some serious concerns here. Any further opinions or comments here?
From Zujin chats, looking into community issues, responses are very reasonable and takes into account all perspectives.
That is also a good point. I might want to switch my vote because of that. So I'm not sure if I want to switch it to neutral or 4. I'm going to switch to neutral for now.
Okay. Jinty, if you want to say something, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I'm just typing.
Oh, you're typing in there. Gotcha. PTLD, what do you mean by that? $70. I will accept a vote if you can DM it to me before we close this vote. The vote is still open, but I think we're getting close to closing it. And also, Jinty's typing here right now.
Yeah, and you can just put it into the chats.
Yeah, put it in chat too. I think, yeah, Peter, those might be two different situations. There's definitely a different situation when you're stressed in the moment versus if you take the time to write something out for maybe an hour or two. So I think they're both valid, is what I'm trying to say, though. Like, they're both valid in favor and against. JT, what did you say? So when I talked to Val, I've often worried if she was conductor, she might have been too erratic. However, she seems to have matured, especially in terms of emotional maturity. That's my justification. Okay. That's a fair point, PTLD. Maybe not so much in the moment. Well, yeah, yes, it is in the moment, but more day-to-day maturity, perhaps. All right, so I think we're going to bring this vote to a close. I'm going to have a final call for any further opinions or vote changes at this point. Right now, Val has 7 for votes, 7 neutral votes, and 2 against votes. That is 7 against 9. That is not a promotion at this point.
Is 70 voting.
I have not received anything, so I've not received a DM. Yeah, in chat or DM, whatever works, but you only got like. I'm gonna give 15 more seconds. Oh, here it is. Okay. 70 is voting neutral. And he's also submitted the remaining candidates to go for, so I'll be calling that out as we go through. Okay, so given that it is 7 for, 8 neutral, 2 against, I think I'm gonna bring this vote to a close. So that does mean Val is not promoted based on that result. All right, moving on to Moraine. Going to randomize the list. All right, and this time, DNA, you are the first to vote.
4.
DNA is voting 4. 7D is next, and 7D has voted 4. I am next, and I'm going to be voting neutral. Skelly's still here somewhere, I think, maybe. Yep, Skelly. Skelly's voting 4. HVT is voting 4. Ginty.
4.
Ginty voted 4. MBF.
4.
MBF's voting 4. Foot. Moraine Foot. Foot's voting 4. Sesh has voted 4. Vicky has voted 4. Needon. Needon's voting 4. Alpha is voting 4. AP, are you caught up?
Yep.
Okay. Zooj is... Where's... Oh, excuse me.
Azuj voted 4.
Zooj has voted 4. Zooj voted also out of order. So, okay. AP, you're next.
4.
AP's voted 4. Missa has voted 4. Frozen. Frozen's voting 4. Polo. Finally, it's Polo. Okay. I think I'm getting the message here. Let me read the absentee ballots first here. So Vicky had voted 4. Very nice and courageous person to have around. Appears to have a strong working knowledge to world edit. I have done a few for them, and they're quick and easy. I don't think February should be held against them. Missa, 0 activity in February is a bit concerning, but the past 2 months show strong activity, with upward trend being assuring. Friendly and helpful member of good world edit knowledge would be an asset. Alpha voted 4. A little concerned about their activity a while ago, but she's a respected member who is helpful, and I have no doubt she'll be a good conductor. HFT voted 4. Seems to know what they're doing. Seems to interact well with the community. Sesh voted 4. Great member of the community to interact with. I have no doubts about her world edit abilities. However, because of 0 playtime in February, I would have preferred to see this application submitted for the next GSM to avoid having 0 playtime month in the application. Given that everyone else is voting, the only reason I vote neutral is I don't know if I've seen Moraine that on enough, so I was sort of leaning toward caution here. But I'm going to change my vote to 4 and make this a clean sweep, since it's kind of resounding here.
Yeah. I think I'm in agreement with some of the absentee ballots there that whilst there's a little bit of Had it been April was a 0 month, I would have been voting neutral, maybe against. But like it's just outside the it's just within the scope, and the activity is not that big of an issue. Anyway, especially because the months after have more than made up for it.
Yeah, I did have to ask a staff member to not. They were initially going to vote neutral because the Bahrain didn't have all 3 months, but I did have to remind them that that's not a reason to vote no. The two, if a candidate has 2 out of the last 3 months, that's enough. That is the minimum requirement. If there's any other reason they would vote no, then they can vote no. But if they miss the 3rd month, that's not a valid reason, and we should avoid voting no because of that. So, okay.
Something I also like to point out about
Sure.
Bahrain as well, they were also very active before those couple months of inactivity. So I do think, although they weren't active in February, they were equally as active as they are now when they first joined the server as well last year. So I think that for me that also helps to make up for that fact. So.
Okay. I have to ask, does anyone want to change their vote, or does anyone have any further opinions?
I'm voting so super against. No, I'm still keeping it far.
All right. In that case, Bahrain has a vote of 16 for, none neutral, none against. Bahrain is promoted to conductor. So congratulations. All right, and our final conductor candidate for today is 6 Pro. I'm going to randomize the list again. All right, and the first person up is Needham. Needham, it's your vote. 6 Pro. We are voting on 6 Pro.
Keep up.
Eden is voting neutral for now. Next is AP.
4.
AP is voting 4. Frozen. Yep, Frozen's typing. Frozen is voting neutral. HVT has voted 4. Next up is Jinty.
4.
Jinty has voted 4. Foot. Foot. Foot is voting 4. Next is Missa, who voted 4. MBF.
Neutral.
MBF voted neutral. Alpha has voted neutral. I am going to vote neutral. Skelly. Skelly's voting neutral. Vicky is voting neutral. 7D. Where's 7D's vote here? 7D has voted 4. And then Polo. Polo has voted neutral. DNA.
4.
DNA is voting 4. Sesh has voted 4. And finally, Zuj. I'm going to take that number 4 as a 4. While tallying up, I'm going to read some absentee ballots. So Vicky voted neutral, similar to Pilk. I've seen them once or twice, but can't really vouch for them. Missa voted 4. I've seen nothing that concerns me in my interactions and observations of 6 Pro. They are reasonably active and long-standing member, and I think they would contribute positively to the conductor team and the server. Alpha has voted neutral. Similar reasoning to Val. although without the last part. HVT has voted 4, great builder that could be helped with World Edit, great community member 2, and Sesh has voted 4, playtime looks good. I don't have any particular concerns. So, as it stands now, can you double check that count there? Just make sure here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balls from 7D, AP, DNA, Foot, HVT, Jinty, Missa, Sesh, and Zooj. Anybody who's incorrect there, speak now.
Are we missing? Because this is totaling 17, but the last vote had 16. How does that work? Are you sure this is correct?
Good question. The last...
16. Oh, no. So, sorry. Moraine does an error. Moraine had 17 for votes, not 16. Yeah. There's 17 staff, not 16.
My bad.
Yep, no worries. And I'm just gonna double check the other votes just to make sure we didn't miss anything. Why does Sval have 19 votes here? Oh, I think it's because maybe there's no more did not votes. There we go. 0? Is that correct?
Seven for, 8 neutral, 2 against, 2 DMVs. I think the DMVs were left over from before 70 Skelly.
I think they were just not
voted.
Yeah, just not updated. So that's good. And yeah, 10, 3, 3. Yep. Okay, we're just double checking here. All right. All right. Let's go over this. So yeah, Skelly. I don't know 6 Pro. Oh, Skelly, what are you changing here? I generally don't know anything about 6 Pro, and I will say that if my vote was the deciding vote against Pro, I would change my vote. So I generally don't allow abstains unless if you don't know the person, that should be a neutral vote, because I'd rather we don't promote someone that you don't know. We only abstain if you have like if there's a conflict of interest or you personally know that person. So I would urge you to not vote as abstain in this case. Just recounting the vote right now. At the moment 6 Pro would get promoted. It is 9-4-8 neutral. That is just barely enough for promotion. You need 51%, that is 51%. Needham, you voted neutral.
Yep, similar to the absentee ballots, 6 Pro is very long-standing member of the community. Needham is switching a vote for.
Needham,
I have no issues with them.
Needham,
all.
Any reason for switching to 4, Needham? I'm assuming Needham's typing out something, so if anyone has any other further opinions to share here, feel free. Yes, we're still on 6 Pro. Needham says, I don't know 6 Pro crazy well, but all the interactions were good. I heard some stuff vaguely, I'm in a car, from absentee ballots that sounded good. Okay, I have my neutral votes coming from. I just don't know 6 Pro that well. But it sounds like in general, it sounds like there's some people have had some positive interactions. So I'm happy to let this promotion go here.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, I've had some great interactions with 6 Pro. I think they're mature. I think they might be able to trust them with responsibility rather than it, to be honest. So I'm happy to vote for in this case.
All right. Any last opinions or changes of vote? That's the last call here. At the moment, 6 Pro sitting at 10-4, 7 neutral votes. Polo would like to change their vote. Polo's voting for. Okay. That's making it 11-6.
I'll change my vote as well.
Okay, I feel like there's some peer pressure happening maybe. So MBF's changing to 4, so that's going to be 12-4, 5 neutral. Okay, definitely Larry last call for change of votes. Otherwise, we're going to lock this down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the final vote is 12-4, 5 neutral for 6 Pro. Congratulations, 6 Pro. You are our second conductor to be promoted today. All right, that concludes the conductor applicants for today, and pretty much, well, no, there is one last thing for this meeting. I have an announcement to make. And I'm just going to go straight into it. A lot of people have been talking about it's just me and DNA as the admin show for the last while. And people have been asking, oh, when are you going to promote another admin? And so DNA and I deliberated about it. So for the time being, or at least at this GSM immediately, we've decided to ask Frozen to be the next administrator for the server, and he has accepted. So Frozen will be our next administrator. I will add on to this though. We may consider another admin to promote in the future. We're not sure of the timeline. Could be later this year. Could be next year. But definitely we'll consider doing so at a later date. But right now, in the immediate term, Frozen will be our next administrator, and that's it. So, congrats, Frozen.
Massive congrats.
10 years ago, Frozen was an admin, and now he's back. All right, so now, okay. There was no trustee meeting today, right? Please? Good? Yes? No! Lee! No! God damn it. I want to end...
Actually, I forgot, I did have that, the other announcement I was going to make as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
Quickly say that in the summer, we've also discussed, same week we talked about Frozen, about potentially doing like a survival server, and just because beta has basically been running for quite a while now, we can't have the survival server running at the same time as beta. So I'm probably going to be looking into setting up like an unofficial survival server, which I'll post some more details about. Probably June time, I think, is when I'm looking at starting to do that. So just keep your eyes peeled for that.
Mm-hmm. I think some details. I think some people might ask this. It's going to be a new map, correct, DNA? So brand new.
Yes, it will. I think. Probably only be running it for the duration of summer, so maybe until like August, September time kind of thing. So, but we'll upload the map for that world afterwards as well. So,
and you're hosting at your own local place, so I think
it'll be in my house. So
connection might be it won't be like server room grade. So, but we'll see how that.
If my Wi-Fi goes down, it will stop working. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see that. And the DNA, you're gonna have to answer these questions. People asking PvP and all that sort of details. I guess you'll announce
We'll
that later.
discuss that. We'll probably do a bit of a vote on it, with like a poll of some sort to decide how it's going to work. But just whatever everyone wants, really, we're just going to do that. I hope so.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, thanks to DNA for that. We're gonna see how that goes. I want to bring this meeting to a close, but unfortunately, Elite has decided to prolong it. So blame Elite. Elite, where you get up here and raise your hand. There you go. How do you get a person to? I don't understand how Discord works. How do you get them on stage if they've raised their hand?
Do you want me to do it?
Okay, here they go.
There we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Frumple. You will be pleased that we only have one meeting item today. This is the absentee memorandum of the Speaker for May 2025, as signed by myself and Narnia 17 at the Waffle House trademark in Newton Le Willows. The Speaker of the MRT Chamber of Trustees, in concurrence with the MRT Senate, proclaims John Fisher, the owner of the former Oakland A's baseball team, to be formally condemned for crimes against humanity. Signed, Elite Neon, Speaker of the MRT Chamber of Trustees, and Narnia 17, President of the MRT Senate. She blank on my blank till I blank.
True.
That was brief.
Yet still felt like an eternity. Okay, anyway. So, all right. Let's move on to the end of the meeting now. Now we're at the Q&A portion of the meeting. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, now's the time to ask. Otherwise, we're going to bring this short meeting to a close. Lennon is asking, are there any server updates or anything coming up? So, so Minecraft 1, what is it now? Oh, my brain just farted. 121.5. Its paper is still in experimental builds, though I do suspect that they're going to become stable builds really soon. So once that happens, I'm probably going to reset beta and test bring it up to test it on there. Regarding the Open Audio MC plugin that's currently on beta, I'm actually currently leaning of not installing it. It seems to work fine, but it does add a lot of, not so much technical overhead, but sort of, it adds a lot to the server, and I'm not sure of the benefit to it. There's also concerns about permissions, which I don't really want to give them to conductors at this point. So yeah, we might consider the plugin maybe at a later date, but right now I'm thinking maybe not adding that on to the server at this time. Stare is asking, did we ever announce the server link was extended to 2027? That's inaccurate. It's currently extended to 2026. I think I paid the rest of it for a while ago, so yeah. If you want the full details, you can always look at it's the public finances doc for the MRT. It shows how much of this, basically all the monies that goes in and out, and how much it's paid for. And right now it's going all the way till December 2026. Sorry, did I miss any questions? Were there any other questions or things that people want to bring up? I think people were talking about crops and stuff. I'm not going to name a server Sigma. That is a very bad idea. In fact, I think the name of the next server, at least the code name I'm using right now is Theta. So, not Sigma or anything.
I have an official proposal as speaker: the Chi CNET Yat Rislington machine.
No.
Can we bring
No.
him off the stage?
There we go. Yeah, that's gonna be very confusing if we loop back to alpha. Hey, it's not my fault. Like if the Greek letter, if we went in the Greek letters in order, that'd be fine. But if you want, the whole reason why it's all over the place is Chief. So blame Chief for that. He named the second server Omega after Alpha, and all hell broke loose after that.
Well, after Theta, we can use the spinny wheel to decide the one after that.
Who needs a spinny wheel? The problem with spinny wheel is there's some names that are. I'm not putting Sigma on there. Like,
well, we can just put the ones we might want, and then I mean, I love the spinny wheel.
If we decide all our life decisions with the spinny wheel, I don't think we'd ever. We haven't done Lambda before.
Hi.
The one thing with Lambda is it's a little confusing with actual Lambda AWS stuff, if you're familiar with that. Kappa is a bad one. That's that's a reference. Jeez. I should maybe just dump Greek letters and just name it something else. That might be better. All right, meeting. I want to any last questions or comments. Otherwise, we're going to bring this meeting at a close. It's under an hour, so that's great.
Yay!
Going once. Going twice. All right, everybody, go away. Bye-bye.